All right. Hey, everybody. See if we get this party started. Maybe. Question is, am I coming through? Heck with it. Hey, cool. This is Major Tom to ground control. Hey, everybody. This one is actually, I'm going to set a hard stop at an hour because I have two videos I need to shoot before I go to bed. After this is done, I had meant to shoot one of them last night, but I was too dang tired. So now I have to shoot two tonight. So fun stuff. It actually is fun. I do enjoy doing it, but you know, my body wants me to sleep. Stupid body. Do you eat beans? Not by themselves that much. I mean, green beans maybe, but like in stuff. Yeah. Liz actually makes pretty good taco and nacho stuff. She often uses black beans with that. I like refried. But yeah, usually as a compliment to something. That's an odd question to start the night off with. No theme tonight. I'm just kind of winging it. Baked beans, baked beans sometimes. But again, usually if I've got something I can put them on, like if I'll do baked beans on a hot dog. Basically, have Franks and beans. Like I'm down for that every now and then. Nice shirt. Nice. I do like this shirt. It's funny because of the way that I currently have the camera set up and framed for the videos. You actually can't tell what's on my shirt, like 9 times out of 10, because it cuts off at like maybe right about here. So, unless I decide to change the camera angle again, the shirts that I wear don't even matter these days. So it's kind of nice that they get noticed here. Peanut butter or Nutella? Neither. Cookie butter. Missed you. Missed you too. Yeah, I'm sorry. I was bad about reminding everybody last week that I was on vacation and there wasn't going to be a live stream. I mentioned it at the end of the previous live stream, but like I meant to send out a reminder, and that's on me. That was a fail on my part. Mr. Bean's holiday review. I don't like Mr. Bean that much. It's just if I'm gonna watch Rowan Atkinson, I would much rather watch Blackadder. I had pumpkin spice cookie butter last fall. Ooh, no, that's one too many things, I think. Mr. Bean's holiday is a masterpiece. Cool. Enjoy. You can have it. First live stream, I managed to catch it over 2 months. Any new drinking questions? No, not this time. So like, same ones. They actually don't get asked as often. I think it's because the live stream is largely a group of regulars at this point. I don't think we get too many drop-ins who like have never been involved in the live stream previously. I don't think that happens all that much at this point. Welcome back. Did you have a reverse the polarity drink on your vacay? No, they weren't that inventive with the drinks where I was. Though I did have some rather tasty variants on margaritas and a blue Hawaiian, so that was nice. Have you watched The Thin Blue Line? Aren't there like 4 or 5 different things that use that title? Like I remember there was an indie movie in like the 90s, and then there was a show. I think there's like a book, but like none of them are related. They all just use that same title. So like you ask me that, I don't know. I don't even know what it's referring to. Saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood last week. I liked it, but I felt like it was all over the place and a bit self-indulgent. I haven't seen that one. I haven't seen a Tarantino movie in theaters since Kill Bill Volume 2. I usually get around to seeing all of his movies eventually. But he's one of those guys who I know I'll eventually want to see everything he's done, but I've never felt the need to rewatch anything he's made, even the stuff of his that I really like. I still haven't felt really a need to go back and rewatch it. So I kind of have a weird relationship with him. Do you watch Lucifer from Netflix? No, because I gave up on Lucifer after 3 episodes of season 1. I was like, I'm not having fun with this. Other people do, which is great. I'm not going to say it's a bad show, but it didn't appeal to me. The Iron Giant was released in theaters 20 years ago today. Oh, boy. Make me feel old. I was working in a movie theater when that came out. Oh, boy. Did you see the thick blue line? I hear it's by Bic. Nicely done. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to hear it. I'll bet you this thing doesn't pick it up. But there's thunder going on where I am. It's raining outside. Probably not bad enough to be picked up by the mic. But I just had a nice little rumble of thunder. You were 16 or 17, not that bad. I would have been 17 in 99. I'm staring down the barrel at 40. I can't even claim mid-30s anymore. I don't think you can reasonably claim mid-30s once you hit 37. Unless you're going to get, like, super pedantic about it and be like, oh, I'm late mid-30s. Like, now you're just splitting hairs. I'm in my late 30s. Ah! I was 21 in 99. Okay, so, I mean, I'm not the oldest guy in the room. That's something. I thought you were 29. You lie. But thank you. I'm flattered. That said, I did actually get carded last week while on vacation. Twice. That hasn't happened in a while. Although, honestly, it happened on the same day. I think it was because this was a family vacation, so I went with my daughter and with her mother. We still all do family vacation together, even though we're not married anymore. And we still do it every year. And she actually did my hair in a French braid during a chunk of time when our daughter was off doing her own thing, because she's old enough to do some stuff on her own at this point. And something about the French braid must have made me look young, or at least like I was trying to look young, because once she did that, I got carded twice. So that was a little odd. I wasn't born in 99, and there it is. There's making me feel nice and old. I was in negative numbers in 99. Oh, boy. I was 36 in 99. Okay, well, I bow to your superior experience. You don't look a day over 32. Thank you. I don't believe you, but thank you. But then again, like, you know, I think like most of us, I'm self-critical. I look in the mirror and go, oh, boy, yeah. Ah. But, yeah, what can you do? We all grow old, but beats the alternative. I was conceived in 99. No more information required. Thank you very much. 32, that is oddly specific. Any old or obscure series recommendations? I don't know. Like, I never really had much success getting into, like, TV from before my time. I can't really think there was really much of anything I sunk much time into along those lines. Like, I haven't even seen that much original series Star Trek. Like, it's just kind of hard for me to digest. Have you ever heard the song You Can Call Me Out by Paul Simon? Of course I have. Maybe I missed a segue into that question earlier in the chat, so I don't know why it came up. But yeah, that's a great song. It's weird. Like, if you actually stop and look at the lyrics and try and suss out what is even going on. But it's a good song. I'm marathoning the MCU movies in chronological order. Incredible Hulk is my next movie. Oh, well, you know, just power through that and Iron Man 2. You'll be fine. It's better after that. It's cheeky of me. Thoughts on Planet of the Daleks? I haven't seen that one yet. There's still a lot of classic that I have not, that I have not seen. I do intend to try and start picking up the pace of that, partly because, and I don't think I've announced this to anyone outside the Patreon yet, but I'll mention it here. But the plan for the podcast feed is a lot, not all, but a lot of the classic Doctor Who reviews are going to move over there. That's not to say that I'll never do classic Doctor Who reviews on the channel again. It's just that, like, they don't... Right now I'm getting through them at a pace of, like, one a month, maybe one every 2 months kind of these days. And I want to get through it a lot faster, but also the classic Who reviews aren't some of my better viewed stuff, and any YouTuber who does this regularly as more than just a hobby, who tells you that the views don't matter, is lying. They do, because if like I have my own sort of bare metric for, like, okay, that's okay to keep talking about that kind of topic, and if I fail to meet it repeatedly, it's like, maybe I should stop doing that. And classic Who reviews, if it isn't a well-known story or a well-regarded story, then they don't do well. But I'll still do some of the big stuff on the channel, like when I get to Genesis of the Daleks and the Five Doctors, and maybe I'll do the Key to Time as a video, stuff like that. But, like, there's a ton of stories that I just need to see so that they're seen. So what I'll end up doing is I'll do reviews for those, for ones I don't do video reviews for, on the podcast feed. And I don't have a date on when that's going to start up. I don't want to commit to it, because right now I am trying to regain my cushion. So I was usually like about 2 weeks ahead in terms of video production. But taking a vacation ate through a good chunk of that, and I'm trying to get my lead in again, so that before I commit too much to a schedule for podcasting stuff. You Can Call Me Dalek by Paul Dalek. Oh, and it starts. According to Paul Simon, the song was basically alluding to an identity crisis he was going through during his time in Africa. I mean, it's an 80s song, so yeah, lots of pop stars were spending time in Africa with often some very weird results. Thoughts on Chasing Amy? Oh, see, the thing is, I honestly need to go back and watch it again, because it's been so long since I've seen it, and so many of my opinions about the kind of media that Chasing Amy is have evolved so much from the last time that I've seen it. I really feel like I need to give it a full watch again. But to my memory of it, assuming that that is accurate, who knows, but to my memory of it, it is an approach to that kind of story that is interesting, and it's got a good angle and a good approach to it. It's got a couple of stumbling points along its way in terms of execution, but it's coming from a good place in terms of trying to tell that kind of story about those kinds of characters, and specifically a non-straight female character, respectfully. And how well it does it, that's like the part of my memory that I feel like is hazy at this point, and I need to refresh. But my general thought on it is, I remember I certainly liked it at the time. The question for me now is how does it hold up now that I'm more woke, for lack of a less cringy way to put it. I'm also going to be auditioning for the Complete Works of Shakespeare Abridged this Saturday. Oh, good luck. That's an awesome show. Complete Works of Shakespeare Abridged is phenomenal. That's such a fun show. So good luck, seriously. Starting the Starting the tip jar train. Everyone can jump on. Thank you, Bridget. Somebody's got to pop that cherry. And I just made it weird. Go me. Anything to declare about Indiana Jones? Ranking of the first 3. Did you like Crystal Skull? Are you excited for a 5th one? I'm not excited for a 5th one because, like, I don't want to see Indy that old. I just don't. I actually don't dislike Crystal Skull as much as most people. I haven't rewatched either of these in a while, but I think I kind of prefer Crystal Skull to Temple of Doom. I really don't like Temple of Doom, like, at all. To me, like, the first one's the best one. Raiders of the Lost Ark is the best one, bar none, and then it's Last Crusade, and then, like, maybe Crystal Skull and then Temple of Doom, but, like, for other people it's probably flipped. I really, like, Temple of Doom is not good. It's not. It's got a couple of decent moments, but it's not good. Did I ever tell you that I once did a live stream with Phantom Strider? Hopefully you're familiar with his work. Embarrassingly, no, I am not. Punishment shot. It is actually just water this time. Like I said, I have 2 videos I have to shoot after this. I'm not planning to get sloshed. So far as anyone knows, that's my story and I'm sticking to it. And why not? Oh, thank you, Castiel. I appreciate it. I really do. He specializes in animation. Ooh, okay. Well, that might be something worth checking out then. I mean, like, I obviously love animation, and sort of finding some of the cool channels that talk a lot about animation has been fun for me. Like, I found Cell Specs earlier in the year, and I like her stuff a lot. Well, thank you, Tracy. Do you know what else was weird? The penchant for TV shows with music videos. I'm looking at you, Kid Video and New Monkeys. Also, NKOTB, the cartoon. Well, let us not forget Hammerman, the MC Hammer cartoon. I actually saw an episode of that once. It's like a very faded memory, but I was hoping you would rock the sunglasses for the whole thing. No. Like the sunglasses, those are reflective. You just would have been seeing the phone I'm doing this on the whole time. Last Crusade is my favorite of the Indiana Jones movies. The Leap of Faith is one of the best moments I've seen in movies. Also, I saw it for the first time in theaters some years ago. Very cool. I saw it in the theaters the year it came out. '89 was a busy year for theaters because we had that. We had Batman was '89. Ghostbusters 2 was '89. At some point, I don't know when, because what I want to do for it is somewhat elaborate, but I am going to dedicate a video on Ghostbusters 2. That is going to happen. When, I don't know, but I absolutely have to cleanse that idea out of my head. License to Kill was '89. Nope, never saw that one. Pop Culture Detective is good too. Yeah, no, they're good stuff. Anyone see Kyoto, Japan's movie A Silent Voice? No, I haven't seen. I know about the fire at Kyoto Animation. I don't think I've seen any of their stuff, which I felt really bad. I would have loved to have been able to sincerely offer a shout out or a recommendation of their stuff, but I couldn't because I hadn't seen any of it. So anything I said would have been incredibly insincere. But that was from a few weeks back. It was a very, very sad story. When you have enough alcohol, I mean water. I saw Ghostbusters 2 on a class trip. Whatever you were going to, I hope it was worth it. Thoughts on Studio Ghibli? I like their stuff. I mean, I've seen almost all of Miyazaki's films. I think the only one I haven't seen at this point is Castle of Cagliostro. I've seen all the rest, but I've only seen a couple of the Ghibli films. directed by other people. I do need to see more of those. I have seen Grave of Fireflies, but like there's a bunch I haven't seen. I haven't seen The Cat Returns. I haven't seen Marnie Was Here. You know, whole bunch of these that I still haven't seen. Ghostbusters legit scared the crap out of me as a kid. I remember seeing the original Ghostbusters in the theater, but it must have been on a re-release because showing my age. Back in the days before video rental was ubiquitous and owning home media was really expensive. It was not, and not nearly as many movies got released to theaters. It was not uncommon for successful movies from a few years prior to get re-released in theaters again if it was a slow period. So I think I was probably 4 or 5 when I saw Ghostbusters in the theater on some kind of a re-release. Because the movie came out when I was 2. There's no way my mother took me to see it when I was 2. The Wizard was 89. I've never seen that one, but I know it by reputation. There's an interesting film on Amazon called The History of Time Travel. Is that a fictional work, or is that like history of it in writing and in entertainment? Because if no one's made that documentary, I want to see that. Have you ever seen Akira? I have. I don't love it. I think it's actually fairly overrated. It's visually astounding, but I say this every now and then when I have to. I'm a story person first, and the story doesn't do a lot for me on that one. Thank you, Bridget. I've been rewatching Avatar: The Last Airbender. Your thoughts? I haven't seen it. Like any of it. Not even like a single complete episode. Which, you know, is a point of shame. What comedic YouTube channels do you watch? I don't watch everything they put out, but I am subscribed to College Humor. And there's ones that I watch that do humorous stuff, but maybe it's not necessarily a humor channel. Like I'm subscribed to Dorkly, and some of their stuff is quite funny. I'm still subscribed to Screen Junkies, but I don't always feel the need to jump on the Honest Trailers as much as I used to, but I'm still subscribed to that. I don't think there's a ton that like is designed as comedy that I'm like, ooh yeah, I gotta be sure I see everything they put out, because most comedic channels, you know, they have a formula and that'll work for me for a while, but then I'll be like, I feel like I figured out your formula, and then I kind of move on. I haven't watched Avatar either. Oh good, I'm not alone. Doctor Who in The Witch is Familiar. What did Missy do with the Daleks? And when I can't quite make out your question. The text came through a little garbled. Something about regeneration energy. I haven't rewatched Witch is Familiar in a while, so I may not even be properly remembering what you're referring to. Got a soft spot for Kiki's Delivery Service. People who know me know why. I have a suspicion as to why, Carowin. For me, like, probably nostalgically, my favorite Miyazaki is probably Princess Mononoke. Was the first one I saw. I honestly think My Neighbor Totoro is his best one, though. Personally, I think it's the perfect distillation of everything he's really good at. I think that one might be my daughter's favorite too. I think that's the one she asks for the most. She's seen a fair chunk of them. Because she's seen that, she's seen Swept Away, she's seen Kiki's Delivery Service, she's seen Howl's Moving Castle. She liked Calcifer a lot. But I think Totoro's, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that's the one she likes best because it's the one she's asked for most. I haven't shown her Mononoke yet. When she's old enough for it, because Mononoke, it gets intense at times. When she's old enough, I think she's gonna love it. But like, I gotta figure out when the heck that is. I just started watching She-Ra on your recommendation. I'm loving it. Yes, another converted. Excellent. So many of my favorite films as a kid came out in '89. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, and UHF. Yeah, '89 was a solid year, all things considered, as far as movies go. I don't know what else was going on in the world. I was 7. I didn't read the news. I love Spirited Away and like the Cat Returns. Like I said, Cat Returns I need to see. Hold on, I'm going to jump back to the Discord real quick because I don't know if too much was sort of tossed out over there for me to take a look at, but let me just check real quick. Hold on. What kind of water will you be drinking tonight? Yeah. Let's see. Have you watched The Boys on Amazon Prime or Another Life on Netflix? If you haven't, would you want to? I'm actually not even sure what Another Life is. The Boys, I haven't seen, and I think I've mentioned this before. It's largely because it's based off a comic book by Garth Ennis, and I don't hate Garth Ennis, but he grates on me quickly. The phrase I'm partial to explaining why I don't particularly like Garth Ennis is the man's about 70% as clever as he thinks he is, which just rubs me the wrong way after a while. I love She-Ra. The original came out when I was 7, and now my 7-year-old watches it with her bag. It's a little too fighty, and she's not huge into action shows or movies. But, oh no, pick up buffering. So Garth Ennis is Stephen Moffat, basically. Well, I would say Stephen Moffat has a slightly better track record than. Well, no. Here's what I'll say. Garth Ennis is consistently 70% as clever as he thinks he is. Moffat wavers. Sometimes Moffat is in fact as clever as he thinks he is. Other times he is batting more like 50% as clever as he thinks he is. So I would say he probably averages about the same, but doing this as opposed to Ennis, which is just bzzz, at one level. I don't know why I did lightsaber sound effects. I had a lot of trouble with buffering. All good now. Oh, good. Slightly out of sync. Well, maybe I'm just really good at throwing my voice. You ever think of that? I'm actually a puppet. There's a ventriloquist just off screen. Would you rewrite Let's Kill Hitler? If so, how? I don't know. It's been too long since I've seen it. And the thing is, I don't have issues with that episode, at least to my memory. A lot of people seem to crap on that one, and I've never quite understood why. Thoughts on the original Blade Runner? Original Blade Runner is one of my favorite movies of all time. And that was before I even saw like the good cut. That was like the crappy cut that I grew up on, like the one with the voiceover where Harrison Ford deliberately sounded half asleep and uninterested, hoping to God it would mean the voiceover was so bad they didn't use it. That's the version I fell in love with as a kid. So I obviously have now seen much better versions of the movie. The final cut is the one to see, the one that got the Blu-ray release. But yeah, no, I love Blade Runner. Marionette puppet or hand-up butt puppet? No comment. Man or woman? Adult or child? Life or death? Are we just bellowing out options? Is that what we're doing? Peter Capaldi's doctor was a miserable git. Depends on the series. He was in series 8 a little bit. But he got better. Have you ever seen the Renegade cut of Highlander 2? I haven't, and I've heard it, like, quote unquote, makes it better. I can't imagine how. Like, the whole notion is just insane. Are you a man or a woman? I am curious. I don't know how to answer that, because I don't know if you're asking me about my actual physical biology, which isn't really anybody's business, or if you're asking about my identity, which is gender fluid, so that's kind of both, but also neither. So don't really know how to answer the question the way that you're phrasing it. I'm trying to work with you here. Are there any stories or moments in Doctor Who that try to be serious, but you just can't take seriously? I mean, yeah, probably. I'm having a hard time pulling any off the top of my head. Well, like, honestly, most of Idiot's Lantern. Like, that story is trying to be taken seriously, and it's stupid. Oh, okay. Gwendolyn, I feel like we've done this dance before. I'm getting deja vu here. So either you and I have done this already, or you are doing what somebody else did a few weeks back, and I can't be entirely certain which is the case. But the way you just worded it that last time, literally asking me what my private parts are, none of your damn business. Like, absolutely none of your business. And we've gone through this before. Because I remember last time it was all caps questions too. So at this point, if we cycle through this again, I'm just going to assume you're trolling and I'll block you. And I don't mean that as a threat. I mean that as, like, you're literally repeating the same rude question over and over and over again. I don't know what else to do with you. So I'm not trying to be a jerk, but come on now. Look, if you have trouble reconciling what you're seeing, it is not my job to align you. Okay? If the incongruity of what you are seeing makes you uncomfortable and you can't proceed without answers that I'm not going to give you, to not the way you're wording these questions, this is not my problem. This is your baggage to figure out how you're going to handle. We're going to leave it at that, because this has eaten up a bit more of the chat than it should have. Especially because I know we've been through this before. Thanks for your video essay on the series. Now I am an avid Red Dwarf fan. Woo! Love it. Favorite characters, Rimmer's facial expressions alone are the best. Rimmer's amazing. Like, he really does make that show. And what I love about Rimmer, especially, oh, okay, you know what? That has now crossed over into, they're just looking for reasons to be abusive. So there we go. Okay, we took care of that. Anyway, back to Red Dwarf. What is terrific about Rimmer is that Rimmer is a character that on paper should be grating. It's something that I've said repeatedly is so hard. It is such a hard needle to thread, which is a character that is annoying to the characters we like, because we like Lister. Lister is a lovable guy. And when you have Rimmer, who irritates the ever-loving heck out of not only Lister, but everybody, it's really hard to have a character who irritates the other characters, but doesn't also irritate the audience. And Rimmer pulls that off. He's like the golden example of how to do it right. And there is no better way to illustrate that. The American version that never got past the pilot, and the American Rimmer is terrible because he's lacking in the little touches that make original Rimmer work and make you like to have him around as opposed to wish he would go away, which is what ended up happening in the American version. I'm pretty sure the pilot for the American version is still like freely uploaded on YouTube. It was a few years ago. It's been a while since I've looked. If you haven't seen it, you need to, because again, like especially anybody who's interested in writing or video production or narrative or just comedy, because it cribs so much of the original, yet does not work. It's a great comparison to just realize how little tiny twists to the way something is executed will make it work or not. It's really great. Yes, it's online. Awesome. There were 2 tries at the remake. So far, you can see. So when they tried to do the American version of Red Dwarf, there's the pilot that's like actually online that you can see. That was their first pass at the pilot. They had another go at it with a different cat, which was weird because the cat they had was fine, and a different rimmer. I don't think you can actually find that. We run at about an hour, so it will be it'll be 10 o'clock my time, Eastern Standard. So when we hit the next hour, that's when I'm gonna end. UK Office UK or US? Neither. I don't really care for The Office. If you're gonna make me pick, I'll take the US because I really don't like Ricky Gervais. Like at a visceral level. He makes me angry. Like just his face. I can't. Buffer and lag. Yeah, I'm gonna blame the weather. Like I said, it's actually thunder and lightning where I am. Depends on when the water runs out. Let's see. Okay, bear with me, folks. Let's see, and boom. There we go. Like, do people really have nothing better to do than to harass a live stream? I mean, like, people get their kicks from odd stuff sometimes. I've never gotten the appeal. I just don't. Just wondering, would you ever consider doing videos ranking the Dalek or Cybermen designs or stories? Yeah. I mean, ranking new series, modern era Dalek stories and Cybermen stories. That both of those are on the docket. When I'll get to them, I have absolutely no clue. But they're on the to-do list, along with 1,000 other things. Since you like Love Actually, have you ever seen The Vicar of Dibley? I have not. I'm aware of it. I've heard the name, but I never did see it. Thoughts on the show Gallivant? I love Gallivant. Gallivant is also on the to-do list to do Why It's Awesome. Like, I have a decal on the back of my, I was going to say new, month-old now car that is a lizard, an outline of a lizard, says underneath it, I super believe. And if you've seen Gallivant, you know what I'm saying about what I'm saying and what that means and everything else. But I love that show. So, like, season 1 of Gallivant is fun. Season 2 is awesome. Yeah. I love that show. I love that show so much. And I'm so glad it got a second season and got to, like, end properly. That was a huge relief. Your sticker is amazing. Where did you find it? Etsy. Good times. Tad Cooper. Yep, that's him. We named one of our turtles Gallivant and one Missy. No, Magdalena. Did you ever like Gallagher? I've never really seen any of Gallagher's stuff. I think largely because what I know of his comedy is like, if you're not at a live show, I'm not entirely sure it's gonna work. Well, forgive the pun, have the same impact. Favorite band of all time? Ooh. I don't know, maybe Queen, but like I'm gonna have a different answer depending on when you ask me that. Not sure about Galvin, nor heard of it, to be honest. Well, it's on Netflix. It's 2 seasons, relatively short seasons, half-hour episodes. It is a medieval set musical comedy. That's the best way to describe it, you know. With ridiculous characters that get even more ridiculous in the second season. Yeah, I just adore it. What is the worst pun you've ever heard? I don't know, I've probably expunged it from my brain. Or it's one that I myself have said and probably by accident. You know what I've actually noticed a lot? And it seems to be happening more frequently is I'll get comments on my video of people like quoting something I said over the course of a review or, you know, a video or whatever. And they'll go, hey, was this a pun? And I'll look at it and go, I guess it was. Not on purpose, it wasn't. Like, here's a nice rule of thumb. If I do a pun and realize that I did it, I'll make a dumb face. Be like, just because I can't believe I said something like that. But if I make what sounds like a pun and I don't do that, I didn't realize that I did it. And that happens rather frequently. Crazy Ex-Girlfriend is better than Gallivant. Crazy Ex-Girlfriend is honestly, despite also being a musical comedy, a very different beast from Gallivant. They are parodying completely different genres and tropes. So I find the comparison a bit odd. Like you'd think it'd be an actual comparison. They're both musical comedies. You know, why wouldn't you compare them? But they're just settings, characters, tone, the types of source material the jokes are meant to send up. It's a completely different ball game. Do you like the Discworld series? I've still only read the one so far, The Monstrous Regimen. But I did like it quite a bit. So one of these days, when I have time, maybe I'll read more. That's a dream. How do you wake up Lady Gaga? Oh God, is this a setup to a joke that I'm gonna groan at? Poker face? Anyone? No? Oh God. How was your vacation? My vacation was lovely. I mentioned earlier. You already have a book on your plate. Yes, Carolyn, I know, which I am. I am actually, I'm now like 2 days in a row making progress on it. I'm building a habit out of it. I will get through it. Yeah, my vacation was good. I mentioned earlier it was a family vacation, and it was actually probably the best one we've taken in a lot of ways. Well, partially because the last 2 years, somebody got sick the previous 2 years. But this year, not only did nobody get sick, but my daughter is at that age, my daughter's 7 now, where she is just old enough that we can trust her, and she also wants to do some stuff on her own. And she doesn't need us there for everything, but she's also not yet at the point where she's like shooing us away and doesn't want us around. So it gives me and her mother a bit of a break and a breather, a chance to go to the bar every now and then, and not feel like we're abandoning her, because she's fine and she's very self-sufficient for a 7-year-old. Liquor, I hardly knew her. Whereabouts? Renee, I am going to consider, like, you know, personal information, that the types of details of like exactly where we do family vacation, because we do it every year, and like, I don't know, that seems, and also because information about more than just me. Like, if it was just my vacation, that'd be one thing, but like it involves my daughter and her mother. I'm like, that's information that I do try and limit the specifics on, just out of privacy concerns. Like, especially when I start dealing with other people. Like, my own privacy, I like what I have of it, but you know, that I'm putting myself out there. I try to be very careful about not putting other people out there, especially if they don't know that I'm doing it. Do you think Doctor Who could or should ever do an episode on Stonewall? And if so, how do you think they should approach it? Given my incredibly mixed feelings about Rosa, I would kind of rather they didn't. Do you think Russell T Davies should return for an episode, as it's been long enough since he left, and his style of writing perfectly suits the current TARDIS team and era? I'm going to give an answer, and I don't like the reason I'm going to give this answer. No, but not because he couldn't write a good story or it wouldn't be a good fit for this team, but because with things as volatile as they are right now, all that would result is a flood of people screaming at him to come back and run the show. And like, even if the Chibnall era, as we are currently in the middle of, was not as divisive as it is so far proving to be, that is still something that would probably happen. But if we were dealing with a less divisive era of Doctor Who, it wouldn't be as deafening as I expect it would be if that actually happened, and I don't have the stomach to deal with it. And that's a stupid reason, because like from a purely could he write for this team? Oh yeah, he totally could. I bet he could do great with them even, but like, it just is what it is. I think you're right about RDT. I think if he'd done it during Moffat's tenure, it would have been fine, but not now. Yeah, that's kind of where I am. Have you seen The Boys? I answered that earlier. No, I've opted to skip it because I'm not a fan of Garth Ennis, who wrote the original comics. Come on, you can say it. You went to the Bates Motel. There's always a vacancy. Always a vacancy, yeah. 6 rooms, 6 vacancies. I don't know if it was 6. It's been too long since I've seen Psycho. That's a good movie, though. What's your favorite mixed drink? I don't know if I have a favorite. Like, my go-to, if nothing else catches my eye, is a whiskey sour, because it's nice and easy, and any bartender knows how to make it. So, like, that's my default. I'm not sure it's my favorite, though. It's just like my safety net drink. Why do they remake villains as hot, i.e. Jafar and Hordak? I'm not sure I even have a problem with that. Would we call Hordak hot, though? Like, you've seen this latest season, minor spoilers, I guess, for season 3 of She-Ra. He's pretty emaciated when we get a better look at him. Would we call that hot? I mean, like, I guess because they gave him discernible hair, which he didn't used to have. I don't know. I feel like that was a stretch. Sexy Jafar was odd to me. Now, that's based off trailers. I haven't actually seen the movie, and I won't. But, yeah, I don't know. I think it's one of those things that it becomes, well, we just have to find a way to do it different than last time. And because before these villains weren't sexy, that just becomes kind of by default what they end up becoming. He does have a gentleman's haircut. Oh, yes. Leading the Horde, crushing the rebellion. What? I don't know why that came out as it did, or why I'm sticking with it. Also, Philosophy Tube for master casting. Ooh. That'd be interesting. I kind of want to see him, like, do, I don't know, like give him a monologue from the War Master or something, from Jacoby's stuff. See what he does with it. At the very least, I'd love to see that. With James Mason as God. Yes, always. Were you dragged to the Lion King? Yeah. Yeah, my daughter really wanted to see it. Hordak has that emo bod all the young folk like. I guess. I don't know what young folk like. I have no clue. Vader was hot on Mustafar. Do you like the bad guy turned good trope? Is it a trope? It is a trope in long-running fiction. Because basically anything that runs for a long time, be it a TV show or a comic book or even some film series if they run long enough, if you have a villain that is a fan favorite character, it's almost inevitable, if you never kill them off, that they will in some way either turn good or become some kind of anti-hero, because you want to be able to keep bringing them back. But if you keep bringing back the same villain and have them defeated over and over and over and over again, they no longer work as a villain because they lose every time. So the way you keep characters like that around is to turn them into some kind of good guy. That's what happens with characters like Spike on Buffy the Vampire Slayer is a very good example. So yeah, it's definitely a trope in long-running fiction specifically. What do I feel about it? It's a case-by-case scenario. I do feel at this point it is pretty predictable. It happens a lot. But it can be done well. It's one of those tropes that is malleable enough that it can be made to work. And it's not automatically like, oh God, this again. It's all good. Well, any trope's execution dependent, but that one, like, in a way that, like, you can still pull this off. There are ways to do it, but Spike is great, but honestly, I found him more fun as a bad guy. Oh, no, I agree with that. So hold on, I gotta jump back to the Discord real quick. Oh, God. In the Discord, somebody just put up that video of Jonathan Frakes interrogates you. I'm not answering all those. Oh, okay, so he pulled one question from those. Can a parrot really give a girl the will to live? Sure. There is beauty in all things, and whatever gives you joy and hope and the will to live, that is valid. And if it's a parrot, sure, I buy it. Are you looking forward to your Harry Potter rewatch? I guess that's a bomb for anybody who's not on the Patreon and therefore knows the docket. This month, I'm going to be starting a rewatch of all the so far released Harry Potter movies, starting with Philosopher's Stone. It's going to be Sorcerer's Stone for me because I'm in the U.S. And going all the way through Crimes of Grindelwald in release order. I am looking forward to it. Knowing some of the nitpicks I already have about some of those movies, I'm wary of what I'm going to get back in the feedback. But I am. I actually haven't rewatched most of those in a long time. So yeah, I am looking forward to that. Let's see. Can't wait for those videos. Oh, good. Is Batman overrated? No, because Batman is malleable enough with enough variations that you can get a specific flavor of Batman. And when you say Batman is honestly anything, it's like, well, which version of Batman are you talking about? Is Batman overused by Warner Brothers because they feel like they have to have 50 versions of Batman and cancel a bunch of other unique books, you know, with their comics lines with DC and Marvel not Marvel, DC and Warner Brothers and everything else? Yes, they do too much with Batman. Is he overrated? No. Some iterations of him are overrated. Not all of them. Some are underappreciated. Let's remake Citizen Kane with more explosions. Oh, yeah. Oh, seriously. Why did that sled not blow up when it was in the fire? Get Michael Bay to remake Citizen Kane. I actually legitimately want to see that now. Have you watched Young Justice? Nope. That's another one of the ones that I've heard great things, but never have. How would you fix Fear Her? throw away the script and write something else. Like, there's honestly, there's really nothing in Fear Her that works. Like, at all. I can't even really discern what they were going for with that one. Like, I can look at something like Love and Monsters, and I can see everything that went wrong, but I can also see the initial kernel of an idea that could have been good. I got nothing on Fear Her. I look at that and I'm like, wah. You just have to scrap the whole thing. There's nothing to build anything out of with that. Harry Potter Revisit. I grew up on the movies. Oh yeah, good times. Citizen Kane made entirely with sock puppets must be a reality. Go forth and make that. Rosebud. Boom! Yep, yeah, that sounds right. I mean, that's how you leave the theater, right? We are going to wrap up soon, folks. As I said, I do need to actually hard stop at 10 because I've got videos to shoot. Popping back to the Discord real quick. Favorite rock band, favorite pop artist, favorite popcorn. Just kidding. Favorite popcorn. Actually, the popcorn from my local movie theater because they use real Cabot butter. So there's that. Favorite rock band. Somebody asked that already in the chat. I mean, I think I'll go with Queen, but like there aren't a ton that I'm like, yeah, all in on for everything they've done. There's plenty that I like, but I'm not massively devoted really to too many musical acts at all. That said, favorite pop artist, Pink. Like that one's easy. And I'll bang out the last few of these from the Discord. What's your favorite season? Fall. What's your favorite Doctor Who episode? Of all the episodes you've seen so far, probably City of Death. That's really tough, though. Favorite 80s cartoon? Real Ghostbusters. It's one of the only ones that holds up. Robert Pattinson as Batman? Could work. I mean, the guy's resume right now is not vastly dissimilar from what Christian Bale's was before he took on Batman. So yeah, I mean, I want to see what he can do. Did you miss the picture? I think you might get a kick out of it. No, I did see it, Gabe. That he put stuff in the Discord. I didn't mention it here because that's obviously a visual that I can't share right here, so I skipped it, but I did see it, I did read it, I did get a kick out of it, so thanks for that. Doctor Who is for squares. Well, then call me Huey Lewis, because it's hip to be square. I wish I could have thought of something better than that, but that's all I got. You're genuinely one of my biggest heroes who inspire me every day. Thank you for being who you are. It helps a lot of people. Oh, dang. Wow. Okay, thank you. That's wow. Thanks a lot, Jay. I really appreciate that. Batman, but he's a Scotsman. If you're asking for me to do that, no, I think that's just that would just be an embarrassment to everyone involved. If you could save 3 Doctor Who stories from being wiped, what would you pick? Dude, I did a list of 100. Don't ask me for 3. Come on. I'm jealous of your glasses, so there. Oh, I love these glasses. They took a little while to grow on me, but I do really like them. Batman, but he's a Scotsman, reminds me of the Monty Python skit. Oh God, people are phonetically typing out Batman dialogue in a Scottish accent. Oh dear. I like how American Psycho said it best. Hey, Paul! Yeah, that's how American Psycho did it. The internet is for being embarrassed. Well, then I am I'm a frequenter of that. Going back and seeing some of my stuff sometimes. But I think I am gonna wrap it up there. A guitar. No, God, no. So that's the thing. Like, I can, or at least I think I can do like a reasonable, horrible American approximation of Scottish. But I feel like now I'm too much in my head with it, and it would be more embarrassing than it automatically would already be. But yeah, we're gonna wrap it up, so folks. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope you had a good last week. Hope you have a good rest of this week. I'll see you Tuesday next week, which will be post Terrificon, which I will be at this weekend at Mohegan Sun in Connecticut with Liz in cosplay at least 2 of those days. So that'll be fun, and the next week's live stream will probably just be me relaying most of that, because I might shoot some stuff there. I don't know if it'll actually be anything I use, because I don't like have a plan. But yeah, that'll wrap it up for now. So thank you for joining me. Council. I'm just running meetings and occasionally stopping myself from doing horrible Scottish accents on live streams. So have a good night.